Some things are fluid in life, right? Some things are fluid, some things are, okay, there's a spectrum. Some things are black and white truth. Nothing pisses me off more than seeing such a beautiful movement with such positive intention that could help so many people be hijacked by nothing but delusion, toxicity, and utter madness, to be honest. Entitlement too, and that's fine with me. If people want to be crazy, who am I to talk, right? But when it comes at the cost of deluding and damaging other people, f*** off. However you're approaching this, whatever your opinion is on this already, whatever your understanding of the body positivity movement is, whether you're male or female, whatever, just listen to the whole video. Because I personally feel that everything I'm saying is just absolutely inarguable. Out of all the things that I've slammed, I've never come across a movement or a person or anything in life actually with so many double standards. Like, the double standards are endless. I can make a documentary on them. It really isn't funny when it comes to other people's mental and physical health. At the same time, I feel like if you can't laugh at it a bit, it's kind of like bang bang is the only option. Anyway, before I get into some very interesting footage that I'm going to share with you, start with a very positive note of what body positivity movement started out to be, is supposed to be, and I am in utter support of. You know, what it started out to be was a movement for people to feel confident about themselves. People with disfigurements, with scars, with burns, with abnormalities. And yes, that also includes people who are overweight, who are unconfident. I feel like it really should be inclusive of everyone, apart from those who are promoting disease. It is one thing to encourage people and everyone to feel confident where they're at, and to motivate them to always make positive change, to make growth in their life. But it's another thing to stay stagnant in a state of obvious disease and extremely poor health, and to try and delude others as well when you have millions of followers.
There are a few words that I don't allow when somebody comes into my house, and healthy is one of them.
That's when I have a huge issue, and that's when you just need to be taken off the internet.
Eat a dick, Brian. Get the fuck out of my house.
Speaking of body imperfections, there are some great examples. You know, like, is this realistic for most women? No. Is this realistic for most women, and is it healthy and beautiful? Yes. But like, showing imperfections, showing that most women or men, we'll get to that in a second though, because there's a whole separation there apparently. Being positive about we're all different shapes and sizes. Hopefully we're all trying to be the best versions of ourselves. Hopefully we can all show each other love, compassion, support. And that doesn't necessarily mean that everyone should be hardworking and on the grind and all this and all that. I don't mean that. I just mean when you come online with millions of followers, you promote that as healthy and you tell people you're living your best life, when really underneath what looking obese looks like this.
Obesity levels are on the increase, and here in the UK we have the highest rate of child obesity in Western Europe, weighing in at over 28 stone. She's eating her way through 6,000 calories a day, 3 times the recommended daily allowance.
Probably eat a lot more when I'm bored or I'm upset. Even if I feel sick, I still carry on eating.
She relies on the help of her partner Elliot to cook, clean up and run around with her daughter JC.
It does frustrate me, knowing that JC wants me to play with her and I can't.
Favourite food would be chocolate. It has to be chocolate. It would be a big bar of chocolate and I don't realise how much I'm eating. I just want to be able to run around with him and play with him. But I mean, I haven't got the energy to do that. It's just heartbreaking, really.
So again, it's great that a lot of people have not lost track of what body positivity really should stand for. Number 2, I am someone that is kind of the person that would be excluded, and I have been excluded from. I've been told, oh, you can't comment on this, you can't comment on that, you're in shape, you're white and privileged, like, where, blah, blah, blah. First of all, Middle Eastern isn't white. What are you basing privileged on? Just the fact that I'm not a certain colour or I'm not obese? What the fuck does that have to do with anything? If I'm speaking the truth, then just deal with the truth. And nothing pisses me off more than people that can't handle the truth.
If you don't like it, piss off.
Number 3, anyone that knows me in real life knows I am far from privileged. Despite what I've done, where you've seen me go, no, my life has been far from. It's these people with the victim mindset that have hijacked this movement that honestly need just a big slap. I'll bring this up later because there's a whole point about men, which I feel like no one talks about. And it's such an important thing. But number 1, you don't qualify to make the rules for the body positivity movement just because you weigh 500 pounds. You don't get to tell someone that's in shape, oh, you're not part of this movement. Why not? How do you know what insecurities I have or anyone else has? It's not based on size. But again, it's been hijacked by obese, angry, victimized women who tell you that they're healthy, that you have to find them attractive, and to not use the word healthy. I do take notes sometimes. I very rarely use them, and I'm not going to use these today either, so. I am officially now, as of posting this, on Twitter, where I will be posting full-length, uncensored videos where I can speak the honest, blunt truth without being penalised for speaking about things that are just normal and responsible to say, like children shouldn't be over-sexualized. Yes, just take a moment to think about that. You know me, I will just speak my mind, I will not be censored. So as much as I will be posting on here, you get the full uncensored version, and I promise it will be fun. I've got scars all over my body, right? I've had organs removed, yes, multiple. Listen guys, abs will always be popping. You can't work or buy abs like that. That's 20 years of grueling sport. Don't even try. But if you zoom in, I'm covered with scars, like big scars. I don't even try and edit them out of my photos, because again, that is part of body positivity. So if I had those scars and I was fat, I would be allowed to be a part of this community. But because I have those scars, and that is the premise of this movement, but I'm in shape and I look after myself, and I know the difference between healthy and unhealthy, I'm not allowed to be a part of this movement. Is that what you're telling me?
What kind of shit is that?
A lot of people don't understand what is actually underneath the glamorized version of obese people on magazines. I'm gonna put some figures on the screen right here. These are figures from the States, right? I'm just going with the States because it's the biggest country, and no pun intended. Do you know what? If that offended anyone, I'm also offending myself. I grew up in Florida, okay? So I am a fellow Miami Beach. I'm not American, but I did grow up there, okay? So I'm one of you, and that's why you get me and English people don't. So therefore I'm allowed to speak on this. But the thing is, anyone that lives in the States, you know this, you see this. It blows my mind when these people call themselves marginalized and minority when...
But when your preferences exclude an entire group of marginalized people, that's problematic.
You see that? That's a stupid bitch.
You are the majority. Again, based on statistics in the States, which is where this mad movement really is driven from. So number one, you're not marginalized, okay? You are the majority. Most people are fat. You're not a special case that needs extra care just because you're obese. Most people are in the States, okay? And that's a fact. If you can't handle it, piss off. This is not a criticism, but what you're doing is not healthy. Please stop deluding yourself. Please stop deluding others. Take yourself off the internet, because underneath all of this glamorization on the magazines of these morbidly obese women, and this is not an exception, this is kind of across the board, that the majority of people that are that overweight will be suffering like this in some kind of way. This was a very controversial show, not at the time. I've seen some people react to it now and be like, oh my god, like, how inappropriate. Imagine if they made that in 2023, they would be cancelled immediately. And it's like, I see what they're saying. It is very extreme. I never agreed with the show being healthy. I used to watch it as a kid. But there is a lot to be shown here. Underneath the facade, the act, the delusion that this could ever be healthy, this is how overweight people live. And these are some of the things that they struggle with in everyday life that they don't talk about when they're on the front of a magazine saying, look at me, celebrate me. When we look at the figures, why is one promoted and celebrated and accepted as normal, glorified? Obviously both are dangerous, both need help, right? But why is the most dangerous killer in the world glorified, and something that, yes, is very dangerous is absolutely shunned? Like, you can't even embrace them in anything. People that are very underweight, people that are anorexic, they almost have to kind of hide their existence, because especially online they will get pounced on. And this is the other double standard. It's like, so why is the most dangerous one being promoted and celebrated, but then the moment a woman, every time a woman loses 10 pounds, they're criticized, they're slammed, everyone's making videos about them, and it's often the obese people making comments on them, and it's like, how fucking dare you? How fucking dare you when you're 500 pounds overweight and then you have someone that's 10 pounds underweight? By no means am I saying that anyone should attain to be skinny or underweight. You know, that needs help too if it is an issue. But why is it okay for people to pounce on people that look underweight? Maybe they are actually struggling. The situation with Ariana Grande recently, I mean, she's always been tiny. Isn't she like under 5 foot? I don't know. She clearly has a very petite frame. And does she look too underweight? In my opinion, yes. But why is it okay for the whole internet to analyze her and critique her when it's not okay. And you can even have your videos demonetized for criticizing people that promote disease. Be honest about the fact that you can't run. It's dangerous for you to have children. Even if you can have a child, it's dangerous for your child. It could be born pre-diabetic. Therefore, you've already set it up for a lifelong, health battle before it's even born. I ain't got no time for this.
I'm gonna say something controversial and I don't care. I don't care how trendy or cute or fun it seems to be fat. Don't let that shit with your head. I actually feel kind of guilty for being a part of this movement. My point is that I see a lot of fat girls who gain a lot of weight from being caught up in this movement and turning around 5, 6, 7 years later talking about, damn, I let my health go to shit. I got this problem now. I'm 400 pounds. I can't do this. I can't do that. Being attractive, being able to still wear nice clothes is not the end all be all. You got to really think about your health. But let's be for real. Health is real. Organs failing is real. Diabetes, heart disease, all that shit is real, okay? It's not fat phobic to care about your health. And if nobody else wants to say it, let me fucking tell you the truth.
I ain't got no time for treading on eggshells with this subject, okay? This is a severe one, and people need a real reality check. It's not what it should be. If you are supporting, again, what it should be, then honestly, God bless you. There are objective truths sometimes, and people just need to deal with this. Some of these people, when you come into their space, I've seen this happen multiple times online. These obese women saying they're healthy. I'm someone that comes from a past of really struggling with self-hate and never really learning to love my body, despite any constant amount of positive. I also know the struggle of just being out of control and falling into a ditch and not getting out of it. I mean, who am I to talk and criticize people that are struggling when this time last year I made a video telling you that why I had been away for 6 months, and it's because I had to go to rehab because I was suffering with addiction, right? I was not recreational, again, I was taking something for pain, but for 1.5 years I depended on it to the point where it almost killed me. I'm an addict, it's something that I will battle for life. But just like I needed to be told, Miles, what you're doing is gonna kill you, these people need the same reality check. I accepted it, I took responsibility. I didn't come online and be like, hey guys, I'm struggling. I'm taking all these dangerous substances just to cope, and put me on the front of a magazine, and I want to be celebrated, I want to be accepted, and I want to tell people that it's healthy, that they should replicate the same thing, and you can live your best life this way. Just imagine the insanity of that. But that is literally what is happening right in front of our eyes with these obese women. I will consistently say women because men don't support this shit, generally speaking. Even if they're overweight themselves, generally they wouldn't normalize disease. A lot of these people, they won't even allow you to use the word healthy because they find it, ooh, we're going blurry. A lot of these people, they even get triggered by the word healthy, and which is absolutely, they're like, oh, this is a space where we don't use healthy as a word, there are no healthy or unhealthy foods here. Objectively speaking, an apple is extremely nutritious, a chocolate bar is not, okay? That is a fact. Also, young people that want to live a long, healthy life need to understand this. And it's okay to say that Cheetos are unhealthy and that broccoli is health promoting, okay? Both of these things are true. Both of these things are not offensive. If that triggers anyone that someone else is just stating obvious facts, just like the sky is blue, although it's not today, you need help. It's not the person saying it that has the problem, it's you. And I get it in a way, because I think the mindset is coming from, I don't want to think of foods in terms of like good or bad or like damaging or destructive if you're healing something that you've been through with food. I experienced that a lot myself in the past, especially when I was in professional sport. It was like a constant worry of, oh my god, I'm a machine, I can only eat perfect things. I've been there, I've suffered with all of that, but the message should be, okay, like this is healthy, this is not, but it's okay to have both, Just like no one can argue with me when I say that Vivo Life protein, great way to slip in a product placement, Miles, is healthy. No one can argue with that. Guys, I've been using this stuff for the last 4 years now for a reason. Link down below. Jill also can't live without it now too. So yeah, we love it not only because it tastes good, but because it's healthy and, wait for it, clean. Yeah, I said it. So again, it's okay to know that something's not good for you, but to also not be afraid of it. Sorry that someone told you that Kit Kats aren't healthy. I'm sorry that you can't deal with that fact. I wish I could help you with that. And again, like I said, if someone wants to be 600 pounds, be 600 pounds. Just don't come online and tell other people that you can live a healthy life that way. Again, all different shapes and sizes are beautiful to an extent. Thick and curvy, beautiful. Many women are just like that when they're healthy.
That ass too fat. I'm the baddest bitch. The 305 did that.
Many men, and I'm going to be honest about this, because I've always said that attractiveness is subjective. I don't understand how anyone can get offended by that. Like, if someone came to me and said, I find you very unattractive, I'd be like, cool. You can't demand that someone changes the way that their brain works. Yeah, so I know a lot of men. In fact, most of my friends prefer, you know, some curves, something to grab onto. And that's cool, that's great, because that can also be very healthy. We're not talking curvaceous, we're talking about obese. There is a line there, and it's not even a thin line. I know there are going to be people in the comments saying, oh, but I know someone that, you know, like, there are always exceptions to the rules, guys. There are always exceptions to the rules. And I know this, because I'm one of them. You know, one of the funniest things I've ever heard. This just proves the utter state of delusion. I've always said this, the double standard and the cognitive dissonance with, for example, someone like Tess Holliday, and lots of them say this. They are just staying that size, and that it's their life because they refuse to conform to modern society beauty standards. Now, fair enough, if you're gonna stand by that the whole way through. Let's break this down. Face full of makeup, face full of Botox, designer clothes head to toes, stilettos, handbags that cost $4,000, a wig on your head, dyed hair, lip injections, tattoos all over your whole body, flash car, big house. I mean, it would need to be a big house. I need to stop. They will conform to every single modern society beauty expectation or standard, which I think most of them are very pathetic and don't mean much to men anyway. They will tick every single box, but they refuse to acknowledge the one that takes effort, that takes self-reflection, that takes being honest with yourself and then hard work. It's beyond me. Even if it is just the tiniest of steps every single day, like making one better choice every single day, then that's great and I would support it, you know? If that was the reason they were on front of a magazine, it's like, look at this person's starting point, look at their courage to own themselves as they currently are, no matter how they got there, but it's the start of their journey and let's all support that. Rather than, look at this person, it's brilliant, let's applaud how they are and give them a career and an income from being obese. Giving them a platform to damage others and giving them financial stability for being obese. Bravo. Another thing as well, like, why doesn't this extend to men? I mean, I don't agree with it anyway, but why doesn't this extend to men? Why are men shunned from this, generally speaking? Number one, I will say that wasp is on my last nerve. Guys, you don't understand. That wasp has been in here. Oh, it just left. Men suffer in the same way. I feel like there's more pressure on men in society today. In fact, I feel like it's gone the other way for men. Men are kind of expected, not expected, but it's kind of like young men these days, the role models that they look up to are not people that are 500 pounds. Maybe, again, there are exceptions, but generally speaking, I don't think there are young women that think that either, oh, I want to be that fat, but when they get there, they're kind of comforted there. Men aren't, men are shamed. But men wouldn't delude themselves, generally speaking, that being 500 pounds is healthy. I haven't actually ever seen a man do that. But yeah, for men it's very normal to still be expected to stay in shape, to be in shape, to want to be in shape, to know that it's healthy to look after yourself. I feel like there are many examples of this, but just one of them is that they did try it once. I think it was maybe on Men's Health, where they put, not even an obese man, but like a man that was like clearly out of shape on the front of a magazine. Men did not want to know anything about it. Again, when they have tried to push this, again, I don't really understand what the goal is here. I really cannot understand what the goal is here by promoting this crap. Well, not crap, by promoting death and poor health and depression and all the other things that really come with it that I've just shown you and I've worked with in everyday life. And this brings me back to my point that I said before, that attractiveness is subjective. We have these obese people coming online demanding that you find them attractive.
Having a preference is something like, I'm looking for a partner who likes kayaking, or wakes up early in the morning, or loves pizza. But when your preferences exclude an entire group of marginalized people, that's problematic. Okay, that's not nice, that's not a preference. If you lump all fat people in one group together as though they are not very different individuals, that's fatphobic.
That's a stupid bitch.
What in the actual fuck? Let's use the other example of the opposite of obese. Let's use someone that's like underweight, anorexic, whatever. Imagine if they were like coming online and demanding, or you saw someone in the street that again was underweight, normal size, just not obese, like demanding that you find them attractive. And if you don't, then you're some kind of phobic. Imagine, you would literally think that, okay, that person is absolutely insane. Where is this entitlement coming from? I can't even understand it. Like, that's what you would think. You would just observe, like, okay, damn, this person's hurt and they need help. Stop calling people names. Stop using all of these stupid slurs against people that simply don't find you attractive. You are allowed to find whatever you want attractive, and it's not even what you want, right? It's innately within you. I can't choose what I find attractive. How the fuck did we get here? I'll tell you how we got here. Because your dumb people online supported it. You're not entitled to anything in terms of other people's thoughts or preferences, and nor am I, okay? So shut up. Ultimately, guys, I just hope that we can re-educate ourselves and everyone what real body positivity should be about, should stand for, and how it can serve people, how it does serve people in such a positive and beautiful way. The sad thing is that obviously it comes down to self-love. You know, no one is 500 pounds and actually happy. I just don't believe that you would be 500 pounds and be happy, because trust me, I know a lot. Again, I only know these people because I've worked with them like in person sometimes, and yeah, and your quality of life is so restricted. I don't believe that anyone is truly happy in that state, and I don't believe that we should tread on eggshells just in case we hurt someone's feelings that is in that state. You know, I've been in and stayed in extremely destructive places, not in the same way as obesity, but things that are just as dangerous and lethal for long periods of my life, until I was able to, you know, like, admit the truth, confront it, and then work with it from there and pull myself out of that ditch. But no one ever helped me stay there, and thank God that they didn't, because if they did, I wouldn't be here. And that's why it really frustrates me so much when I see people supporting this absolute madness. And again, no one with true self-love is doing this, and that does break my heart, again, because I know what it feels like to be there. I feel like the most loving thing that we can all do is not cater to people's distorted feelings, you know, in the fear of triggering them. It's just that we can speak the truth, but also with love, and that there's support and help there if they need it. That pretty much sums it all up. Anyways, guys, I really want to know all your opinions, comments, and stuff like that, so leave them all down below. Sending you so much love, and I'll see you on the next video. Laters.